And one of the world's leading young sopranos is performing in Cambridge for the next 2 nights. Russian-born Ilona Domnich is starring as Mimi in the English touring opera's production of Puccini's classic. And backstage last night at the Cambridge Arts Theatre, Ilona talked to me about the opera and the iconic part.
Well, from my point of view, Mimi is in search of great love. She is incredibly needy and lost. But then slowly she realizes that qui amor sempre con te, love is always there. In a way, in Act 4, she tells it to Rodolfo, that love is in you. You don't need anyone to be loved.
So it's classic Puccini, great love, great songs, great tragedy as well.
It is and it isn't, because I see my Mimi when she dies, that she is free, finally, from her internal turmoil. She is not needy anymore in artificial signs of love. She knows that it's there. And in a way, she's like a catalyst for all the other characters of the opera. She comes into their life and she changes their life forever. She possibly in a few years' time they would look back and look at the photograph perhaps and see Mimi on her deathbed and remember that was the time, the turning point of their life when everything changed. The illusions were broken and the reality came.
A real roller coaster of emotions and some great songs. What's it like to have the privilege of singing those wonderful songs 100 years after they were composed?
It's a great privilege, especially as we have such a wonderful cast. We get on so well and wonderful colleagues. We learn from each other. But it's also a big responsibility because it has been sung by greatest singers. But I try not to think about that and just to be me and just to be Mimi.
Now, you're a part Russian, part Israeli who lives in England, speaking English, singing this in Italian.
Yes, I love languages, I always did, and I love the investigation of the character, because I studied a bit of forensic science before I studied opera, so I find it quite satisfying to look at the character and also through the musical interpretation to find what is it that hides behind the masks of people when they are really true, when they unveil what hides behind.
It's great that you're taking the opera on tour, because for many people it's not affordable. They can't go to London to a big opera house, and to have it come to the provinces, as we call it, to the theatres like this is great.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity to see different audiences and to present such a simple story which everyone can connect to and see themselves perhaps in the drama or in the tragedy or in the release of the tragedy.
I wonder how many people are coming for the first time, or people that don't often go to opera. Quite a lot, I'd have thought.
Yes, and La Boheme is a perfect opera for a first opera to see, because it's a very human story. It's about people who live without electricity, with the light of candles, and people who are very ill, and circumstances make them fight for love and for what they have, so little that they have, the simple things that connect them. Someone that can fall in love over a cup of tea or a cup of wine.
Sounds good to me. Now, you've got some local stars, because you're on tour, and there are some parts for a children's chorus in here. So everywhere you go, there are some youngsters that join you. And tonight it was from Theatre Train Cambridge North, a whole party of them. And they did really well, didn't they?
They were fantastic, possibly one of the best groups of kids we had on tour. Yeah, it's wonderful to see that the young generation is introduced to opera. I mean, it is my dream to change, to educate. I have a little son as well who I hope will grow loving opera and would go to the theatre and not think that opera is something strange or unusual, but go as we go to football or to movies.
Aha, that's a very Russian dream. But talk about these kids that were here tonight, because they hadn't been on stage with you before, and they rehearsed separately and then just came and performed for you. They did really well.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we just had a tiny rehearsal in the afternoon and off they went. And they have no stage fright whatsoever. Fantastic.
Do you get stage fright?
Not anymore, no. Well, opera is not about exaggerated feelings. In a way it is, but, it's about real life people.
For those of us that don't have a voice like you, I mean, it's amazing when you open your mouth and the wonderful soprano sound that comes out. Is it always there?
My voice?
Yes.
I have to trust it. I don't know. And to in a way, surrender to my own whatever comes. Yeah, but it's a lot of preparation, mental and vocal and physical, and then just go for it. Because at the end, you have to trust yourself, your body and your voice.
Well, it's certainly a part that demands going for it. It was stunning tonight. We enjoyed it thoroughly. And I hope people come. Tell people why they should come to the last two performances here in Cambridge of La Boheme. What will they find if they come?
I think they would find truth and something very human. We are looking through a magnified glass into human emotions that we all experience on a daily basis. We all fall in love, we all have broken hearts, we all die a little and then live a little. So I think this is what they're gonna come to.
Very poetically put. Thank you for that. Спасибо большое.
Пожалуйста.
Ilona Domnich, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And that English touring opera performance of La Boheme is tonight, and tomorrow night is the end of their national tour with Ilona Domnich in the starring role as Mimi.